There are stories that connect us to ourselves and to each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. Now, exclusively on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, your hosts, AJ and Natalie.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Happy Wednesday.
The Soul Wanderings. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our show, Soul Wanderings, where we get to hang out with humans every single week and hear about their journey stories.
Yeah.
My favorite. I love hearing about people's lives and all the things they've been through, all the things they're up to, all the good stuff.
Their expertise, all these glimpses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this opportunity I've had this year, I've just been like, oh, and then there was this guest that we had, and there was this, and just, oh my goodness, just this week I was saying, do you know what that reminds me of? Our guest last week that talked about the shadow side of religion or things. I was like, that showed up for a friend of ours, recently. It was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
We just learned all about that.
I've witnessed you having those conversations and I just giggle. I'm like, oh, you must love being here.
I do.
Well, welcome. I see the Wanderers piling in. Hi, guys. Welcome. We are live on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. You can find us on kgradb.com. If you head over to the shows and hosts on Wednesday night, we are down at the bottom. Not that we are at the bottom. We're just at the end of the day of all the other shows. We are your evening ladies.
That's right.
We are your ladies of the night in a spiritual, positive way.
That's correct.
Or whatever. I'm all about chicka, chicka, chicka. No, just kidding. We'll be whatever you want us to be.
We can't control people's fantasies or ideas, or we just show up and do our thing.
Yeah. My sense of humor is not that funny.
All about the good conversation.
Mm-hmm. We love the conversations.
Oh, it's so true.
There's a lot of good conversations that take place here, and I just love it. Speaking of conversations, we have a lot of them, like throughout our days, not just here on Soul Wanderings. We get to talk about all kinds of things. And one of the things that we talk about quite often is human design. And some of you may be like, oh, there they go again with the human design. And you kind of might get frustrated because you don't really know what we're talking about. Or if you may have dabbled your toes, you may be learning a little bit more when we do talk about it. Or you know some more than that, but want to know a lot more than that. Well, we've decided that we're going to slowly start introducing human design more so into our shows because we both feel that it is extremely important for our well-being to be aware of this knowledge, where Natalie is actually the expert out of both of us. I am a student, but I have been practicing human design for a hot minute now, and it is woven in has been braided into my life quite beautifully. And I'm super, super grateful for the lessons that it has taught me and continues to teach me on the daily. So we're like, we need to have more shows about human design. Let's do this. And so we're going to. And with that being said, there will be a show coming up in 2 weeks from today that we've planned to start introducing human design to you on a deeper level. And so on our social media, which you can connect to all of our links by going to soulwanderings.com. Follow us there, and we make our show posts weekly about who's going to be on the show this upcoming week. When we do that for that show in 2 weeks, we will have a link for you to go to enter your information so you can pull your own chart so you can follow along with us.
Right.
So we'll basically be having a human design course on the 2nd, I believe it is. Yeah, August 2nd show.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
To talk about all this, the depth of it, and just as an awareness, you do need your birth time. The most accurate that you can get, the better. It does make a difference.
Right. And explain to them why this will be different from astrology.
So it's a composite system. It actually includes 2 different, essentially, if we want to call them birth times. So it includes your actual birth data that like astrology would, and then there's a date that's 88 or 89 degrees prior to birth, which is about 3 months prior to the birth. And the calculations include that. So there's this 2-part system. And so the complexity and the precision that it can describe a human is just amazing. I have not found another tool that can just help me zero in on people. I feel psychic. I am not psychic. I'm not this psychic. I've known psychic mediums. That's not. I have a fair decent intuition, but it doesn't really work like that. But I can sit there and I can look at someone's body graph, and I've studied it for 5-6 years now. So I've been studying it for a long time, living it that long, and so I can just explain the way a person operates, and they're like, that is so precise. That's me. And I'm like, it's funny, huh? Or not funny. It's so the precision, and it really does help me in my work because I can really get to like a root of an issue. Now, sometimes it doesn't. No, I can say AJ doesn't always like the things that I dish out. I'm like, well, there's that.
No, she kind of ruffled my feathers just before the show.
I said, here's a little piece of
information. She put me in a mood.
And
but I showed up smiling. I just want everyone to know she did not ruin my day. Knowledge is power.
Well, it is one of those
like
things.
it, but it is. Here we are.
Well, and it was unfortunately it verifies or validates what
an experience I'm having.
The experience you're having. And it's really beneficial to know that that's the mechanics involved, because otherwise you're chasing, like, you're running down the white rabbit in rabbit holes that just won't actually come to a helpful situation.
I wish I would have known this 5 years ago.
Well, it wasn't.
Would
that
made
isn't
life
how
a
you.
lot easier.
Yeah, no. If you enter into all relationships according to your strategy and authority, then it would be,
Yeah.
Then
different.
it's the wonderful thing about a human design, or not so wonderful thing, is it gives you these concrete things that says there, look, you have a strategy, you have an authority, make your decisions, live your life according to those 2 things, and what really happens is a lot less resistance.
Right.
You don't always like what the design shows. I don't always like mine. My most recent most recent experience with my personal design is I have this is a little bit, I know that this, for the listeners that don't know anything about this, but I have what's called an undefined heart center. And so what that tells me is I have nothing to prove. And I had someone tell me something today that's like, oh, there's this, there's this word on the street that says something about that could tarnish my reputation. That if so it really would. There's some people that are saying some things that may be disparaging, or would like maybe call my professional reputation into question. And with my undefined heart, I know I have nothing to prove. When I am in this space and I honor that I have nothing to prove, then the voices will be like, oh my gosh, you're going to have to battle that. You need to prove yourself that that's not true. And you need to go after all that. I'm like, oh, nope, I have nothing to prove. Just relax into my space. And, if people believe that, then they don't really know me. But people that know me won't believe things that are, or if they do, I'm like, well, that's fascinating.
Right. The thing about you, though, I've never heard anyone say anything awful about you if they really know you. So
Thank you.
there's some choice words I could say.
My reputation is very important to me.
Absolutely. You've
It
worked
is.
very hard to assist other people on their journeys. And one person has the ability to really do some damage.
Maybe. If I, like, well, there's.
No, I'm
we'll
just
see where
saying,
that
like,
goes. Yes.
in the big scheme of things, in any situation, one person has that ability to do that to someone else.
Yeah.
Why we always speak kind words about each other.
Well, that's what we do. But, when people are in bad places, there's just, it's human nature, when things are really going awful in your life, there is inevitably emotional stuff going on. So I just, caution everyone out there. Look, emotional energy is very powerful, but it really doesn't hold any truth in it. It really doesn't. And if you just notice that when this is not new, because I talk about emotions all the time, but I find that it's never, it's always a beneficial thing to explore what emotions do in our lives, because a wave of emotional energy can be quite destructive in arguments or things like that. People say a lot of things that really don't have a lot of truth when they've simmered down. They're like, oh, who out there in the listeners has said something and you're like, when you calm down, you're like, I would not say that thing again, because you're not in that emotional, energetic space that, and the opposite is true. Sometimes we're like, oh, I love you so much. And then 6 months later, you're like, I'm not sure I love you like that.
True.
That's happened.
It does go both ways.
You're like, well, I can't love you like if that's what you are.
Right.
Even love dissipates sometimes, or what seemed like love.
Yeah, absolutely.
My study of humans. Sometimes it delights me.
She giggles.
So true.
But that's why you're so good at what you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Because you do have a love and fascination of human beings and their behaviors.
Yes.
Why they do the things they do.
Yes. Helps me through when I have a lot of heavy stuff I deal with. Good friend of mine had her brother die, unfortunately by suicide. So I was talking to her today and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, your job can be quite heavy at times.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's heavy.
I know. It's just well, it's like, I got something for you. Not a quick fix though. My group yesterday, this lady's like, she's like, so what you're saying is like, I'm a mess? And I'm like, pretty much.
And that's okay.
That's kind of how the nature of your grief journey is. It's supposed to be messy.
Yes, it is messy.
So I have to say, one of the ladies in there said, because there was a couple of new people that came to the group yesterday, and one of the ladies that had been coming for a while, she says, look, so when Natalie like smiles really big because you're crying, don't take offense. She cheers on the tears.
Oh, that's a good disclaimer for those who are new.
I was like, wow, that was an interesting feedback loop. It's just like, oh, I guess that could look like I was like overly delighted at their grief.
Yeah. Well, you do have a way with grief and the uncomfortable conversations thereof that may come across as you may not care, because when someone cries, you're like, oh, yes,
I do.
And someone could possibly take that a different way than how you're intending it to be.
They could.
And that's part of that journey for them as well. You've just done a lot of work. Wow. And so you look at it very differently than they do. Plus they're in the trenches in that moment when you come across that way.
Right.
But I just see that as a bright, shiny light on a dark, dreary day for someone else, and they need that light.
I think that sometimes our meltdowns I need a cheerleader going, oh, thank goodness you finally let that go.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
needed a big meltdown
Yeah.
to let release all that deep stuff. Have you ever done that? Like that deep thing that's deep inside of you needs to be like brought out with a really full body meltdown.
Yeah. I'm all about those. I don't really cry that much. I'm one of those people who have just, I don't know, I've gone through a lot of garbage in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I just have a thick outer shell, if it's part of just who I am as my design, or, but I don't
Well,
really
definitely within your design, your emotional wave is not cry often
know.
because it has these in between that are just sort of
No.
flat. I mean, flat, like neutral.
Yeah. And I've always been quite envious of other people who can just cry so openly and easily. But it's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't have feelings about whatever it may be. They just don't flow from me as easily as someone else. But you get like talking to me about things that really matter to me, like some big things that are taking place in the world right now, or a sad commercial, I tear up. I'm just not like I have a heart. I just don't really,
Yes, you do.
really cry. But those cathartic cries are like so amazingly healing, right? We absolutely need to have those
From
come
time
out
to
of our
time.
bodies.
Oh, yes, especially if it's in there, it needs to come out.
Yeah, energy. It's all about energy, and that's all. Tears are energy. Let those babies flow.
Well, I also want to encourage the habit of emotional release on time.
Mhm.
There's actually a timing that's involved with different, I mean, the same thing is talking about grief, but on the flip side, the timing of like loving someone or romantic things, that's timing too.
Mhm.
So it's on either side of the emotional spectrum that the timing of it needs to also be like on time or at time or when it's happening.
Mhm.
Like you don't delay your, when your heart just like going, I just want to like ooze love all over this person kind of thing. You're like, well, we should wait 3
Mhm.
months for that to happen. That would be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? If we withheld our happiness or our joy or our bliss, just like we do some of those other difficult things,
You're
when they
absolutely
show up,
correct.
they're just there, just like have it in the moment that it's happening.
Mhm. Absolutely, I agree with that. But also, it was making me think about something you said a little bit earlier, how being in love like right away, and then a few months later, you're like, well, maybe I'm not so in love as I thought. Like sometimes, like sharing feelings, but like not oversharing. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know where the healthy balance is. It's different for everyone.
well, that's the part of understanding that only over time can the whole picture be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So emotions don't really reveal like the whole picture, the whole truth. It's only revealed over time.
Right.
That's definitely some stuff I've deepened my understanding with through my study of human design, that the nature of emotions even.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it really actually validates or verifies what I've been doing with my work. And then some of it is just cracking it open even more.
Right. Right. I love Day and Deep.
Oh, it's yes.
I used to be so afraid of it, and now I just love it.
We're like, oh, have you ever had those weeks where you're like, nothing really big has happened? Huh?
No, I do not manifest that. Nope. Nope.
She's like, not
I'm
that.
more of I'll let it arrive when it's meant to arrive. And that's funny because this week has been one of those weeks where, like, not last week, but the 2 weeks before, I wasn't well. I was having a flare. I was going through some emotional stuff. And then last week, I was catching up from the 2 weeks before. And then this week is so quiet. And I'm like, okay, this is strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. But also I've gotten so much done because I've had, I've been healing, and then I've caught up, and then I have some excitement coming up, and I'm just like, oh, we're back in the groove again. You know,
It's so nice.
I am not manifesting anything.
More difficulty in those.
No,
Like,
thank
no,
you.
we're just going to enjoy the pause.
Yes, I really do enjoy the pause because
Yeah.
I'm not normally in a pause kind of space. So yes, it's good.
It is so good. Life is just amazing.
It is. It absolutely is, Natalie. It is amazing.
What's next? What do we say next?
I was
for
just looking
our-
at all of the comments. It's kind of I love everyone who's piling in. I think they're slowly coming in more. Thanks everyone for being here with us tonight. We appreciate it. We have a really cool guest on tonight. I'm really excited because two of my favorite things, not that I'm into the health industry per se, but I'm fascinated with different viewpoints on health from a medical point of view, but also shamanism. And combining the
know.
two together, I'm
Yes,
just like, yes, I'm really excited to learn how this weaves in and out and how our guest has made it work in her world and her reality. I think it's so important to have both realms in our lives,
Agreed.
right? Because although I do most of my healing holistically and through like non-traditional ways, more Eastern than Western, I still have a great appreciation for the Western ways. Just not a lot of gambit that goes along with it in some ways. But I really, really like, from what I know about our guest, what she is doing and what she is creating in the world. And when I first was introduced to her, not to her personally, we'll get to meet tonight, just what she's doing and like looking at all of the amazing things that she's up to, I'm just like, yes, we need this in the world and we need more of it in the world. And so it just has created this excitement. I've been looking forward to this evening because I can feel the passion that she holds for what she does. She's worked really hard to be where she is today. And it's just really neat that she's combined both ways.
Yes,
Both the ways.
Hear all the stories about how she got there
Mm-hmm.
and what that shaman kind of work looks like. Because among the, like, I can bring to mind 3 specific shaman people that I know and seen work, and each one of them has such a different way of doing what they do.
Yes. And that's what's always kind of confused me about shamanism. And I hope that she can clarify that for us this evening. I'm sure she'll be able to. There are so many people who call themselves a shaman or they do shaman work. Like, what is the difference between being a shaman, doing shamanic work, or anything in between? Because my understanding of a shaman is not like a weekend course. It's way more intense than that. Yet where we have the healing center in the daytime, we almost on a daily have someone come in and say that they're a shaman. And I ask them, what makes you a shaman? What do you do? And most of them, squeaky leather chair.
Yeah.
Most of them are like, well, I took this 3-day course, or I spent a month in Peru. Like, I don't understand the definition, I guess, because that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but I just need clarification.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I'm sure there's all different types.
It's true. Plus, I would imagine that there's a lot of stuff that goes along with actually doing the work, like the transmutation of energy. That's what I kind of understand. Is one of the natures of shamanic work is that you're taking an energy from someone and transmuting it and moving it through. But
what's the difference between that and being an energy healer?
That's a good question.
Well,
you have so many questions. Look at this. This is like we've loaded. We're like, this is what we're going to find out.
And our guest is not on air with us, but she will be joining us just after the commercial break. So let's take that break. And when we return, we'll get to introduce you to her.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to Soul Wanderings, heard here on kgradb.com. We are back, and tonight we are going to introduce our guest right away because I imagine she has so much to share.
I am so ready to listen to her.
I know. Dr. Sharon Martin is our guest tonight. She holds a doctorate in physiology and worked as a research scientist and as a faculty at Emory University School of Medicine. She's also trained at and graduated from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and finished a medical residency in internal medicine. During the last year of her internal medicine residency, Dr. Martin served as chief resident. She's kind of a baddie.
Yeah. You go, girl.
She also continues to hold membership in the American College of Physicians, the National Organization for Internal Medicine Physicians. She is certified by the National American Board of Internal Medicine, and she is certified graduate of the Healing the Light Body curriculum of the Four Winds Society. She has a lot. We could go on, and I just wanted people to get an idea of who this amazing woman is. She's also the host of 2 radio shows, Maximum Medicine and Sacred Magic, aired on the syndicated network Transformation Talk Radio. And tonight we're going to learn about her new book, Maximize Your Healing Power, Shamanic Healing Techniques to Overcome Your Health Challenges. Hello. Welcome to Soul Wanderings.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for that nice introduction.
Well, you have a lot going on. I had to skip over some of it because we could be going on with your intro for a hot minute.
Oh, I'm as a student, I was kind of badass, but There's
Yeah.
more to that.
I think that the rumors are still true. You're still a baddie. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us this evening. We are so fascinated with the work that you have done, and we can't wait to learn more about it.
So where are we going to wander to tonight?
Well, that's the beautiful thing. We
I
get to
love a guest
wander.
that starts with that.
Yeah, we
She's
get to
just like,
wander
"Well,
wherever
let's
you
go."
want to wander. So tell us a little bit about you outside of those credentials. Like, who's Dr. Sharon, and I don't know, tell us your favorite thing you like to do in your life right now.
And then I want to answer your question on what in the heck is a shaman.
Oh, yay.
We'll definitely need to get to that because I've interviewed a lot of shamans. I'm not sure. They're all very different to me. So the clarification would be lovely.
Yeah, it's sort of a co-opted word nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Dr. Sharon? So I am a working physician. I work in a clinic in rural Pennsylvania. So I'm in the nitty-gritty with people with health issues all the time. And I live in very rural. The county I live in has about 14,000 people. I live on a lovely piece of land that truthfully saved me during COVID. COVID was horrific for physicians. It was horrific for everybody, but really horrific for medical health people. I have 2 dogs. I have a horse. I have a miniature donkey. I have some chickens and lots of animals all around in the woods around my house. So I am an earth girl. Bring it on. Bring me nature. I'm really good in the woods. I love the woods. I love the rolling hills of South Central Pennsylvania. And the other part of me is having gone on a search about 20 some years ago for what the heck is healing, and learning in medical school and in science that you have facts and that something is or isn't. It's very, quote, black and white. But when you're with the clients and the patients, there is a whole lot of gray. And having learned very quickly that taking care of somebody's blood sugar or getting their cholesterol down or giving them an antidepressant, all of which may help, may not have given the person any more sense of vitality or life force. And that started to be my quest, is how do I bring more than well-being? How do I have the person feel healed when they may not be cured? And that's a very big difference, in my opinion. You can have cancer and feel healed because, and I'll be a little spiritual here and maybe get a little woo-woo tonight, you could go to your deathbed with cancer and be ready to die, and I would consider you healed. But if you are kicking and screaming the whole way, even if you don't have cancer, even if you never had a health problem, you probably did not love your life. You probably did not feel good about living. You probably did not connect with your life force, and I would not consider you healed. So I have my own spiritual sort of take on that. But in that quest for what is it I'm trying to do? If I call myself a physician, I really want to be a healer. And I think many doctors, any kind of providers, naturopaths, chiropractors, nurses would say the times that they love and feel good about an interaction with a patient or a client is when they make a heart connection, when they feel like what they've done made a difference. And those kind of moments are not necessarily taught in medical school. But those are the ones that keep us going. Those are the ones we signed up for this. And so I began a quest for, how do I bring something bigger, something, and I started figuring things out and reading spiritual stuff, and read a book by Alberto Villoldo, who started the Four Winds Society. The book was Shaman, Healer, and Sage. And something went zing, and I had to take the training. And it was about I'm going to say a 5-year process of that, the main classes and the graduate classes. And then I started seeing the other ways to look at clients, the other perspectives to take, the other ways to consider their health, but part of their soul's journey. And then it became meaningful. And then it became fun and juicy and exciting.
Probably for the people that you see too.
Well, you know what? It opens the door. I'm going to digress a second and answer your question a little bit differently. I went on a book signing. My book came out end of May, and I went on a book signing about mid-June. And I was sitting in the Barnes and Noble, and the manager was really nice, and he kept bringing people over to me. And people go, "Oh, you're a doctor. Let me tell you about," that happens all the time. "Let me tell you about," and I'll sit and I talk to them. And I remember this one young woman. She had been struggling with a gynecologic issue for easily 10 years, couldn't find anybody to help. Finally found somebody to help, gave her the diagnosis, gave her the cure. What do you think she told me about why she valued that person? What do you think were the first things about how wonderful that doctor was?
Maybe because they stopped to listen to what she was experiencing and really truly tried to help.
Absolutely true.
I'm seeking a doctor like that.
She said, and then I found Dr. So-and-so. And you know what? I said, what? I'm thinking, okay, she found somebody brilliant, expert, found the right treatment, cured her for years of pain. And she said, and she took an hour with me. And then she said, and then the resident took an hour with me. And I mean, I had always sort of known this, but I was rocked. And that happened over and over with the people who came to talk. "Oh, you wrote this book. Why'd you write it?" I said, "To put that power back in your hands." And they said, "Oh, well, let me tell you about this wonderful doctor I had, blah, blah, blah." Comfort, support, listening.
Yeah.
Not intellectual, not competence, not the best treatment, even though those things may have saved the person's life. It was she took an hour with me. That was the highest thing on her list. I mean, that's wild.
I don't think it's too wild to ask for as a patient, because I mean, I've had years and years of meeting with doctors that would spend 5 minutes, 15 max. And mostly they're at a computer typing with their back turned towards you while you're explaining to them what you're having as your experience. So I can see how that would be so important to somebody, is just to be heard and validated that they're having these experiences and like actually having someone care.
We will probably all agree that the system of mainstream medicine is deeply broken. And at the same time, we'll all agree that if you have cancer, if you have an infected appendix, if you have a clogged artery in your heart, you need mainstream medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And mainstream medicine has incredible advances. The immunotherapies to treat cancers that I had a patient who had melanoma that spread. She was kept alive for 5 more years because of immune therapy. That's unheard of. 10 years ago, everybody with melanoma died. So I'm not throwing mainstream medicine out, but I'm telling you, in terms of finding well-being and healing, it's got a ways to go. So who is Dr. Martin? Dr. Martin's on a mission. This is probably part of my soul's mission on earth here, is to wake us up, wake up mainstream medicine, and most importantly, put the power back in the patient's hands. Patients checked out years ago, and doctors encouraged it because, don't worry, dear, I'll handle it. Well, doctor, what do you think I should do? Oh, don't worry, dear, I'll handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And patients can, and it's not just taking responsibility. It's not just getting back in the game. There are actually things, and there's where shamanism comes in. There are actually things you can do when you struggle with a health challenge to shift it. And so I'm kind of on a mission to say, okay, people, I'll show you what I know and how I see it. And then you take it and run with it, because you can impact your destiny. And here's everything I know about it today. And I'm still learning. So I'll write another book. I'll tell you what I know later of the new things. But
Right. If you're in this small community, writing a book is substantial work, because then you're able to get your message out to the world.
well, thank you for the invitation, because being on podcasts has really helped me put it out there.
That's what we're here for. We want to support people who are doing this amazing work.
Right.
Thank you. The book is on Amazon. It's on Inner Traditions. It's on Barnes and Noble. And when you buy it, and you can find the page on how to order it on my website. When you buy it, you take your order number and you go to my website, and on the page that's about the book, you enter that and you get all these freebies, these downloadable freebies. So I love that part too.
Fun.
It is fun. It's exciting to get freebies.
Yeah, I think, everyone likes the swag for sure.
That's right.
For sure. So overall, since you've had your book out, it's received amazing reviews. What has been everyone's experience in person when you've gone to book signings or been on the podcast? How is everyone
receiving the information?
Why did words just go away?
I don't know, but that's what I'm here for. Bubby, your backup brain. So when what kind of experiences are people having?
That's what
the people that have told me, a lot of times I was on podcasts and it hadn't been out there very long, so I didn't have readers give me feedback at that time. But number one, when we talk about the information, everybody's excited. They're excited because it brings in the mystical, it brings in the spiritual, and it brings in ways that people themselves can tackle a health challenge. The readers who have now had a time to read it, practice it, the reading I think is fun. I think it's easy to read, fun to read. That's the sense that I've gotten back. And people, I had one guy interview me. He's a therapist. And before he interviewed me, he read the book and he said, I did one of your practices with a client and it was amazing. So the energetics of the practices, I think, are strong. And then that's how the shifts happen. So I like that.
So you actually have practices noted in your book for people to try.
Yes. In fact, it's very heavy on here's a story, here's an explanation, here's a sample of something that happened with the patient, and here's what you can do.
Awesome.
Like
One
that.
of the things that I want to suggest, I do say this in the book, but when you get these, they're meditative journeys. And so I do better if I'm guided on a meditation. So for me, I'm a visual person. I like to see a movie in my head, but I like it if somebody leads me where we're going. So it's hard to do if you're reading it and then you're trying to be in the zone. So I do say that, and I think it's important, get out your smartphone, get out a little, I don't know if GarageBand app lets you record yourself leading the meditation, and then play it back while you can close your eyes. And then you can record it again if you didn't leave enough time for yourself for the pause. But here's what I'm learning that's new. And it's not new for everybody. I'm just sort of new to the party. Consciousness is the new frontier of medicine, in my opinion. Consciousness, and that's what my book is about, even though I don't talk consciousness, using your thoughts to change your reality, to send out an intention, to create a new destiny. That is consciousness. And the universal field of information is not a new topic. It's sort of new to me, but it's going to be big if we can incorporate that into mainstream medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as you can put your thoughts to it and suspend disbelief, that's a big one, you can shift it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a cool thing.
So you believe in the power of our words and what we tell ourselves?
Absolutely. And even AJ, even before you're AJ, right? And
Yeah.
that's now okay.
I'm AJ.
Okay, I thought so. I'm
I'm
sorry. Okay. Even before the words comes the thought.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these phenomenal mystical teachers, Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, Dawson Church,
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra. I know I'm missing several, but thoughts really do change your epigenetics. It changes your cellular mechanisms.
Absolutely.
And even before that, and I interviewed a woman, I'll tell you, Dr. Sagi, S-A-G-I, a Hungarian healer who works with Irvin Laszlo, whom you might know, wrote the book, The Akashic Field. He's a genius philosopher kind of guy. The whole thing is about linking up to the universal field. And I'll just blow your minds here for a second. The templates of how organisms are supposed to work, the templates by which our cells have an organizing principle. They have the life force to work in a well-synchronized, healed manner. And this healer from Hungary, Dr. Sagi, actually is able to tap into that field, and I'm going to use my words here, download the template to get the cells of her client's body to respond back before the glitch happened. Mm-hmm. Now, those are all my words and my explanation. She may say it differently. But that's going to be, that's what energy healers do without knowing that that's what they're doing, maybe.
Right.
That's what Reiki is doing when it says, I'm going to attune you. Well, what are you attuning to? You're tuning to the universal field.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I do think if we can bring that into mainstream medicine, wow, all bets are off.
How exciting if we can do that.
Do you feel like that's something that is a possibility without big repercussions, I would say.
Yeah, or do you feel like there will be repercussions for that sort of pursuit?
I think if each individual physician, naturopath, chiropractor, energy healer brings that more and more, will the big industry, it can even apply in surgery though, that if you've got, I'll just remember, this was 40 years ago when I was working as a scientist. There was a study out of Cancer Center, MD Anderson I believe it's in Houston, Texas. They had kids who were getting cancer treatment who drew Pac-Man cells, chasing down their cancer cells and chewing them up. Those kids healed, where the kids who didn't do any drawings may have stumbled along. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
If you've got somebody holding the right vision for their healing before surgery, and then if you have the surgeon holding that vision, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's about perspective and intention and setting your consciousness to the healed state.
So what ways can we do that for ourselves on the daily, even if we weren't in a state of illness or having any other issues with our health? What can we do for preventative maintenance?
So even if you're not in a health challenge or a diseased state, so even if it's just about manifesting something in your life, even if it's about wanting ease and flow of how your day goes, you set your consciousness to link up with the universal field. However you see that, the life force flows with grace and ease. It knows how to do it. There's an organizing principle for life. It knows how to do it. And if you see yourself as being flowing through your day, you will flow. Obviously, if you're have a stronger intention, you may do that more easily than someone else.
Do you feel like you can reverse a diagnosis just purely by your intention and the thoughts that you tell yourself?
Yes. And even though it might feel theoretical, it does take the hard work of changing your thoughts. So yeah, that's not that easy. Do I see a little chat thing that says a couple minutes till break? Do I have time to tell a quick story?
Yeah.
Okay. In February, I started having horrific pain in the palms of my hands. Horrific. And my fingers hurt. And that went on. I was busy. I was getting the book launch. It was everything. And then finally, it just got to where I said, this hurts too much. And obviously, I called all my friends who are energy workers. I said, you got to work on this. But I also went to the rheumatologist, and one of my tests suggested I have rheumatoid arthritis. I said, no, I'm not getting rheumatoid arthritis. I will not get rheumatoid arthritis. Another friend told me about a topical herbal, and I can bend my hands. I don't have pain in my palms. I took no other medicine other than this herbal lotion called Topricin, and strong intention. And I'll tell you about my spirit helpers later. And something's working. So
that's powerful stuff. I received a few different diagnoses over the last 10 years, and I know without a doubt the work that I'm doing is reversing what I was told, because I am persistent.
Yes, you are.
I will not own it.
You won't.
You are a Jack Russell.
Those dogs are persistent.
Yes,
That's like the absolute persistent. Yep.
I've never been compared to a dog, but I'll take it. I'm a lover of
Better
the
than
animal.
Jack Russell.
They're
It's
cute.
true.
They're cute dogs. So
They are so cute. They're so hyper.
that wasn't a criticism.
Oh, well, I thank you for the compliment. And with that, we're going to take our top of the hour break. When we return, we'll have another hour to continue our wandering with Dr. Sharon Martin. Stay close.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a feel the difference money back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Wanderings, heard on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. If you aren't a member yet, now is the time to be one. Go to kgradb.com, head over to the Shows and Hosts button. Over on Wednesday night, scroll down to Soul Wanderings. That's us, all of us. And at the top of that page, there are options for you to receive up to 30% off your membership. So monthly or annually, save some money, and then you'll have all access to all past shows, video and audio, and behind the scenes content for when the team goes to conventions and expos and extra interviews and all of that good stuff. It's pretty worth it. Build those brains, learn those things,
Have a whole bunch of ready access
expand your
entertainment.
horizon. Don't just mindlessly scroll on your social media.
It's more than TikTok.
Tonight we are hanging out with Dr. Sharon Martin, and as we said in the beginning of the show, and she clarified, she is a badass. She is here to share with us all things that she is up to, which are extraordinary, all about medicine, all about spirituality, shamanism, and combining the two together to optimize your health. And I just adore your compassionate heart already. We are so happy to have you here, Sharon. Thank you once again for spending your time with us this evening.
Absolutely.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I was thinking about. I've done some study of the New Thought. There's a lot of writers that wrote in the New Thought movement that was in the like 1920s time, and they talked a lot about this. Christian Larson is one of my favorite authors from that time that wrote a lot about this consciousness, and he wrote a book called How to Stay Young, something like that. He wrote actually lots of books, but it was just this amazing consciousness movement where they were talking about like your thoughts create your life. And it's just this stuff that's been out there, but not everybody has access to it and not everybody does it. You really have to do it in your life. I mean, years ago, he the Optimist, I think it's the Optimist Society, used his work for the Optimist Creed. And I very purposefully memorized it and literally like programmed my brain with that Optimist Creed. And so I can just recall even a line or two of it. It starts with that, like, promise yourself to be so strong that nothing disturbs your peace of mind. That's just the first line. And then I've discovered what that positive thinking does. It doesn't eliminate all problems in life, but it definitely helps to have these sorts of, even if I think about your word templates, like that's one way to do it. What's your scripts like? I talk often about that in my groups or with my clients. It's like that script that's running in your mind is creating your days, your life. It affects you. And
Did you read, and I don't think he was in the 20s, maybe he was, Neville Goddard?
So I've listened to some of his work. He's I think he is also in that collective group of the New Thought leaders or the New Thought authors that was from that time. So I don't think he was exactly in Christian Larson wrote in the 20s, and wrote later than that, but they were very much like Neville Goddard, his work, and it's been really wonderful to like apply those things. And the template, one of the other things that I was just mentioning to AJ in the break was that, so we've been talking about the human design on the show, but the human design is a system that actually, for me, gives me my energetic or a representation of what my energetic framework is to meet consciousness. And when I live within the way that my like aura and my energy is designed to work, I meet consciousness the way that I'm intended to meet consciousness, and my days are easy, like in the flow. So I love that is like a resonance with what you're saying. And it doesn't mean that you have to, I mean, I find that it's actually just some very simple things. I bet you that's what your book presents people, is a few simple things to change their life.
And one of the things I was just thinking as you were talking, I think one of the things that brings more ease and grace is when you accept, and I'll call it your soul signature, your vibratory pattern, that's your human design. And if you're not constantly fighting against it, because for me, because medicine was so hard and because I yearned for this mystical and spiritual things, I would fight. I'm going to stop being a doctor and go do X, Y, or Z. And it never happened. And I would grumble, why am I stuck here? Until all of a sudden things just started coming together, like the gears, just chunk, 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 chunk. And I realized that, I have a purpose of being here in this particular frequency, in this particular soul mission. And so that brings grace and ease when you're not fighting against who you really are.
Agreed.
Right. And I feel like a lot of people just want an instant gratification, right? And so they love the idea. If I just think like really good things and be positive and nice to myself, like in a week I'll be healed or I'll be better. They aren't actually wanting to put in the work.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were talking, Natalie, you were talking about words. Sharon Klingler is a woman whom she's a colleague and a very powerful psychic medium, spiritualist. She wrote a book, Power Words. And your words, well, your words come from your thoughts. I mean, words are very, and I see that in medicine a lot. I'll talk about it as a physician. Oh, I always have blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's just me. I have blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, that's my such and such. Well, does that really belong to you? Is that really permanent? Or can you not step out of the cage of your limiting beliefs? Can you break free?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is challenging in the beginning. And even like as you practice longer, you always have like a reminder of the work that you get to still do. Because you can't necessarily control what pops up in your mind, but you can control what you do with it once the thought forms.
And the other thing that I was thinking as you were saying that, the work is never done.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
There are people who can become enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
There are some who are just amazing that way. But the rest of us are chugging through, and then we make a change. And I talk about this in my book. I see this in my patients, is that it's like a spiral. You could climb, and I use the Andean symbol of the Chicana, which is like a cross, but it's stair step. You go up and then you're on a plateau, and then you go up a little more, and then you're on a plateau. Sometimes the plateaus last a long time. Sometimes the plateaus last till you dig in and you do something different. Mm-hmm. And and I see also as a spiral, I love traveling in Mexico in the Mayan and seeing all the pyramids and the ruins there. And one of the things when they built their temples, every 52 years, they'd put a new story on it, like so they'd go up. And it's kind of like, you do your work and you come back and you're not really at the same place you were. And you go again, kind of like a slinky,
Mm-hmm.
Of upright slinky. But so there's lots to keep learning. That's the purpose. I mean, we're alive.
It's true. And then in the Buddhist philosophy, it's like, before enlightenment, chop wood, haul water. After enlightenment, chop wood and haul water. It's this human experience. It's enlightenment doesn't mean release. It's like, oh, okay, there's that. Okay, I'm going to do the dishes.
Humans energetically are dense, and I mean that as in compacted.
Right.
All of our vibratory has come down into material form, and so we're slow. We can't change that quickly, and we are trotting through. Being a human in today's world is difficult, and so it takes daily self-reflection and just keep on chugging, especially because the world's a little crazy right now.
It's a little crazy.
Just slightly.
Right. How's that? How was that? Or from your profession, you said it was like hell. Any examples of exactly what this last 3 years has been for you being in the medical and seeing what you see?
The first thing I think that happened is it was so unknown. The virus was so unknown and so freaking frightening that I would be scared going into a room standing next to a patient. we didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how it would affect me. I didn't, is this person going to have it? Am I going to catch it? Am I going to die? I had several people in their late 40s and early 50s actually die. It was extremely scary. And then, of course, when it brought all of the society thought around it, and then it brought the actual logistics, it was difficult. We had to start doing everything scientists knew how to do. People grumble about how we have poor treatment, or we could have a big argument about vaccines, but I think where everybody's scrambling, trying to find, what do we do? What can we do? So, you get on your mask, you get on your gown, you get on your gloves, you go in, see somebody who's coughing and sniffling, and well, it's wintertime. Maybe it's just a cold, but you don't know. So that part was extremely difficult. It was difficult. It was stressful. And that's why I say living rurally, I was lucky enough to live on a gorgeous piece of property that I'd come down the road to come home, and I'd turn down my long driveway and I'd go past the pasture where the horses were and come down to drive around past the pond and hear the donkey hollering at me to come feed her. And all of that fear went away. I was very lucky to have that. If I lived in New York City and I had to watch all of those tractor trailer, 18-wheeler cabs and stuff loaded with dead bodies, I don't know if I would have made it.
Sure.
I mean, it was scary. It was scary for everybody.
Yeah. I think a lot of people still currently live in fear from it as well.
Some of them do, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fear, that energy alone did not help the situation, right?
No, that's what I mean when I said COVID has a thought form. It became even more than it. I mean, I saw the reality of it, and I had the all that added freak out.
Yeah.
Right.
Just before the break, you were telling us your story, and you said something about your spirit helpers or your spirit team. Do you want to elaborate on that? We love hearing about that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I love that kind of stuff. So the thing that my shamanic training with the Four Winds Society, which is a training in the Peruvian style where their ancient medicine men and women could actually see the energy bodies of their clients, work in the energy field. And they were very aligned with other energies in the universe, whether they be a jaguar, a hummingbird, an eagle, wind, water. A lot of, we see that also in Native Americans. There's an alignment with energies that are not human. What that did for me, and I'll just share that my growing up was it was just dysfunctional in so many ways in my family, as many of us have families that are like, but we moved a lot when I was growing up. I lived overseas in Southeast Asia. And so I was never really comfortable, always watching, always hypervigilant, always worrying. And when I studied Peruvian shamanism and we started interacting with these energies that are different from human, these intelligences, and began to seek out alliances, that was phenomenal to me. That was incredible to have a jaguar. And do I believe there was actually literally a jaguar I was aligning with? Maybe not, but an energy construct that represented a jaguar. And to have a jaguar be with me when I still had tons of anxiety was incredibly comforting. Then expanding that to realizing that you can link up with the nature spirits in your garden, the intelligence, and we'll call it a diva of tomatoes, for example, or the god of thunder. However you want to call it, there are energetic constructs with intelligence that are not human that you can align yourself with, connect to, be aware of, communicate with. And that beauty of having so many resources, that's a powerful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Whether you have a guardian angel, a spirit guide, an ancestor who comes from the other side and tells you what to do or offers you advice, whether it's an ascended master, Mother Mary, Master Jesus, whatever. There are forces in the universe. There are also dark forces. I'll just tell you that's part's true. But if you can align yourself, especially with the higher vibrating. So what do I mean by that? A lot of people say, okay, say that. It's a buzzword. What does it mean? You guys may have read David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force.
Yes.
And he had a spiritual enlightenment and left as a research scientist at the National Institutes of Health and went to Sedona, big new age spiritual place. And he was able to figure out that certain emotions had and behaviors had certain frequencies, and some were higher in the vibratory scale, and therefore, quote, more enlightened, with love being way at the top, and anger being shame, anger, jealousy, all those being in the negatives. So you can find energies that you connect with that hold these higher frequencies. And then you yourself are starting to attune to those and starting to resonate with those, and it brings out those energies in yourself. And so a jaguar might give you the ability to find something in the dark, not literally in the dark, but metaphorically in the dark. A wolf may give you courage. You know, a hummingbird may help you find the joy in, you know, coming home to the sweetness. And an ascended master may make you feel like you've got golden light around you. Those things make you feel better when you bring those energies into your field. And so that's what I loved about my training in shamanism, is that I got all of these pals. And that's really cool. When you align yourself with these and you develop the relationship. And I'll just share one other thing. One of the key ethics of developing relationships with these unseen forces is that you operate in what's called Ayni, A-Y-N-I, in the Quechua language. You operate in Ayni by being in right relationship. What does that mean? That means you don't take from these beings without giving back, or without asking, what can I give you back? You stay in balance. And gratitude is a huge ethical construct that you should always maintain. So you can ally yourself, and then you have pals, and then it's fun.
Yes.
Sounds like you never need to be lonely.
Well, and it just goes without saying, though, we are never alone.
No.
And that's the beautiful thing about this experience, is although we cannot see, there are times you undoubtedly can feel. And some people just have a hard time wrapping their head around that they can feel something, but they cannot see it, but they are never alone.
I know. It's really fascinating how, and then if you were to hear the thoughts that are in people, and you know, that thought is supporting the separation,
Correct.
where these thoughts actually like influence and support the collaborative, collective, never alone sort of universe.
Yeah. I
And
love
it's
that feeling.
if you can't wrap your brain around it, if you're sort of still living in that scientific materialism and you haven't quite gone over to the woo-hoo side, just for a minute, suspend disbelief. Just for a minute, visualize yourself meeting a particular power animal. Maybe you really like the rabbit. Maybe you really like the eagle, and get pictures off the web and put them around and communicate and ask for assistance and watch what happens.
It really is about asking. Like, it's giving permission to our spirit team that we are open to receiving the assistance that they're wanting to give us.
There is a woman that I interviewed on my show recently. Her name's Wendy Coulter, brilliant medical intuitive who teaches medical intuition. And we talked briefly, and I'm going to have her back on my show in October because I really want to talk about this more. She said you have to reach the level of permission to heal. And the same with and I have one of these diagrams in my book. I have this thought or this concept of a medicine wheel, and it's got 4 steps, like the 4 directions. And the second step is allow. And all the spiritual, the psychics and the mediums will tell you it's out there. You have to allow it. So at the very least, suspend disbelief. If you can't embrace it, just for a minute, tell your to just park it to the side for a minute. Try it on.
I like to tell people, it's like, look, you don't see radio waves, you don't see television signals, but you certainly tune into them when you turn on the radio or you turn on the television. Just because
you believe what they say.
Right. And you don't have to believe in a television wave to understand that it's there, functioning. Just one of those things.
Very true. Very true.
So I'll tell you a story.
We love stories.
We do.
Me too. So I think this is the medicine wheel training of the Four Winds Society focused at the first basic courses on south, west, north, and east directions. And we learned energy healing techniques in each of them, and we did our own inner work. Very powerful. And each of the directions is associated with a power animal. And along the way, we met the 4 main figures, power animals from the Peruvian or the Andean tradition. My puppy's chewing something he shouldn't be. And they were the jaguar, the hummingbird, the eagle, and the serpent. Well, we were spending a week where we had to connect to the eagle. And around here, at least not until a few years ago, we didn't have any eagles, but we had a lot of hawks. So I would love contemplating about the hawk and then seeing if there's one up there in the tree along the road or on the telephone line. And the hawk is the archetype that it represents is to be able to kind of rise above a situation and sort of see the big picture, and to be able to fly high and not get all bogged down. So I was communing with the hawk. We all did it for a couple of weeks. So we wanted to feel the energy of the hawk. And then went back to the next in-person session of our training. And I was driving home and I was going on a back road. And all of a sudden there was this wham on my windshield that looked big and it looked feathered. And I thought, oh my God, I've hit a hawk. Well, it was devastating to me. Absolutely devastating to me. I quick pulled off the road, backed up. I looked on the shoulder. I looked on the berm. I could not find it. I was devastated. The idea that I would hurt a hawk was too much. Saw the one feather and a little bit of blood on the windshield. Sat there, had a moment of tears. Couldn't find it. Hoped, said a prayer. Got back in the car. And literally within a mile up ahead was a huge accident that had just happened with fatalities. And I knew spiritually, philosophically, that had I not been hit by that hawk, had it not hit my car, I would not have stopped and I would have been in that accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find the hawk, so I didn't kill it, which made me happy. So I felt that I had energies that were looking out for me. I felt that the hawk had stepped in to create a distraction. Now, is that just a nice story I tell myself? Probably, but it felt right. It felt meaningful. So you can make these relationships and get these moments where you'll find the meaning in it.
Well, there's also like this extra layer of meaning since there was blood and a feather, that blood was going to be spilled. I mean, the hawk just kept you from spilling your blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all those layers. I say if we're going to tell ourselves a story one way or the other, it might as well be a story that feels better.
I love these kind of stories. They're just like these reminders, that one, we're not alone. Two, other people are going through big things too. And three, it just gives me so much hope and validation that we are surrounded and supported in more ways than we can even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels so good.
It does, doesn't it? And also to start to remember, and this is why people are drawn to shamanism, because it takes you back to the indigenous way of interacting with the world, where humans are part of an interconnected web of natural elements, of animals, of trees.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be back in that. We need to regain that interconnectedness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Oh, okay. I want to talk more about your book. We still have like a half an hour or so. So I want to make sure everyone knows all about it so they can go and grab their copy for themselves. So we know about the intention behind your book, but what are people getting when they receive your book besides the swag, which is pretty awesome? But like, what kind of things are you teaching people in your book?
So it tells about my journey of recognizing that healing is more than giving somebody a pill, a prescription, and that the main other thing, we're not alone, that we have resources, and that with shift in your perspective, which is all part of the training, again, your thoughts help direct your reality. Mm-hmm. A shift in your perspective can break you out of the cage of the way your thinking has limited you. And then how do you then show somebody what the perspectives are, how to practice them, and especially with related to a health issue, how to connect with helpers, and then how to work with your energy field. Another big component that I learned when I studied shamanism, the Peruvian shamanic tradition teaches you about an energy field. And to work within that field, how to do clearing, how to do a meditation to shift something, how to bring life force in. So there's a whole, just reading it, even if you don't have a health issue, you'll gain a lot of, broaden your way of working in the world.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because our health is like so incredibly important to us.
Just
And
have
we take advantage of it. We really do. And I think just like knowledge is power, like I've always said. And even if we aren't struggling with anything health wise, we all get older if we're fortunate enough, I should say. And with that comes a body that has troubles. So just
changes.
having changes is a better word. Having that knowledge in advance,
It's very good.
powerful. That's
Reminds
so
me of
good.
my mom, my lovely mom, I love her so much. She's 84, and her sister died, so she was just in town recently, and she was walking, and she kind of like was a little wobbly, and she's actually quite a good walker and very stable on her feet. But she's like, oh, I need to remember to like slowly rotate my feet. My mom is this practical woman that's like, you just need to adapt your walking when you're in your 80s. It's just a thing. Like,
How
oh,
cute.
she's
How
lovely.
cute.
And in your book, Sharon, what is your most favorite chapter and why is it your favorite?
There are a lot of good chapters.
I love that. That means
She's
the
like,
whole book
all
is
of
just
them.
fantastic.
Well, I think it's about what is my favorite? Oh gosh. The story I tell probably when I went to Sedona and we were asked to meditate on the red rocks, and our guide wanted us to meet the dragons that he had met, and meeting the dragons energetically and then having them become part of my helper team. That's kind of cool. The medicine wheels that I intuited and conceptualized, those are cool. The journeys are really cool. The meditative journeys, because they actually engage an energetic shift. So there are a lot of fun parts in there, I think.
Yeah. I would imagine just meeting you and feeling your energy tonight that it's going to be an amazing book. I wish I would have had time to read it before we had you on the show. We booked you pretty quickly. So
We'll just read it
both of us
after.
during the break were like, we're getting this book.
That's right.
This is the book we're going to get.
I think you'll enjoy it, even if you don't have something you want to. Let's start with one of the first journeys is the journey to the Hall of Contracts. With the background idea that there are times when, even if you may not know it, you're living under a rule that you've made for yourself. Whether you learned it in childhood, I believe in past lives, whether you brought it in from a past life, you're operating under a soul contract. And maybe that I'll take one of mine. I'm the eldest of 5 in a dysfunctional family, and I made the rule that I was supposed to be in charge of everybody, make sure took care of everybody. So if you've made a contract that has then trickled down to affect your physiology, maybe your contract is that it's your job to always do the hard work for all your siblings. Well, if you show up with back pain and you are, quote, burdened, I mean, that to me is sort of an energetic no-brainer. Then why don't we go to Journey to the Hall of Contracts, which is a sacred hall, where there's a whole library of all the contracts of every person that ever lived. Pull yours out, bring in the wise ones, and tell them you want to rewrite it, and then have them file it. That's a very powerful energetic. And that's a way to sort of say, okay, I'm ready to break free from what I've been under before.
Yeah. I've been told like different experiences like that, like it's possible, but I feel like people gatekeep in this realm. Like instead of like truly helping each other and giving us those secrets that you just shared so willingly, they don't give you all of the details. And so you learn by continuing to have these conversations, right? And here you are.
One of my pet
Really?
peeves, and it probably comes from a past life, I call it the priest cult. The priests had the sacred information, and they had the double handshake, secret codes, and the regular people didn't have access to it. And it's a power trip. And I absolutely cannot stand that.
Yeah.
They say that part of this Aquarian age is the opening up of all of that.
I'm ready to rewrite my contracts.
I bet.
Okay.
I've learned my lessons. The pain is great enough. Let's do some work.
I'm renegotiating.
Yes.
All right, do it.
Really. I'm really excited that you shared that in your book, because that'll be something I'll definitely be
checking into.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So what about the shaman question we have?
That was what I just about to ask. I'm all Tell us about shamanism and the difference between someone who, and this is no judgment, right? I know that people go through all different kinds of courses and do what they do, but there are people who are getting weekend certifications, which is very concerning to me. It's just like the big wave in Reiki, how people are just like, oh, I'm a Reiki master, without having the awareness of what they're actually doing and the damage that they could possibly cause.
So I'll give you my sense of what shaman is. Now, I've been criticized by sometimes, rarely, but sometimes by people who say that I'm not a purist, so don't use that word. And which kind of shamanic are you? Oh, the puppy got a pair of my glasses. What a brat.
Oh.
I heard the sound of plastic being chewed. Oh, Sammy. Oh, Sammy, you're so bad. So, the Kung, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, Bushmen in South Africa have a different connection. They're spiritual. Their tribal healers have a different connection, perhaps than Mongolian, perhaps than Hopi, Andean. But those are all called, those ancient medicine men and women are called shamans. What do I think a shaman is? To me, you can't be a shaman without connecting to the unseen world. And for me, that's a spiritual, I'll call that spiritual. If somebody doesn't believe in God, you might just call it hooking up with the quantum field. You have to be willing to be an intermediary between that and the forces on earth, particularly for your client. And for me, it's also very animistic in that every creature and living thing on earth has an intelligence and a spiritual value. So to me, I don't think I can't think of an example of any tribal ancient medicine men or women who didn't value the relationship of humans to nature, didn't work within it, ally themselves with it, set up protection against, the bad god of thunder that came in, or of hurricane or whatever. So it's a very animistic in that way. And that connection to pull in your relationship with the unseen world and use it in navigating your future. So you can be a personal shaman. You can be it only for yourself. So for me, it's not like saying I'm a shaman, because I don't I don't say that. I say I've learned shamanic techniques. I've learned shamanic practices, and they happen to be of the Andean tradition. But then I also studied with other powerful healers as well, who had their training from Southwest Native Americans, Mongolian, Ethiopian, different things, Celtics and Druids. That Druids would probably be considered shamans.
Right. I would agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, this is my personal bias, I think you have to do your inner work. And for most humans, that takes time. And so you can be exposed to something in a weekend course, but then I would suggest you need to go home and work it and then let it integrate in your energy field. The shamanism I learned believes in an energy body. Now, I don't think Mongolian shamans talk about an energy body, but it doesn't mean they're not operating in it. In other words, they don't have language for it, but it doesn't mean that they're not in those dimensions.
I would imagine that sometimes if you don't have language for it, there's a possibility that it just is. So it's not even needing to have language around it, because they're like, why would you even need to describe that?
Right. It's already so accepted. Yep.
Yeah.
What are the most beneficial ways for you to protect your energy field?
A couple of ways. Having my helpers. So I have dragons and jaguars that are my guardians. Bear sometimes, wolf sometimes, but that's also, even if you don't see those energies as those specific, setting your intention that your energy field is protected is a way to go. The other thing is your energy field is sovereign. Now, there are times that their energy fields can impact yours. There are forces that can negatively influence you. And that's the way that can happen in most of, I would say, I believe this almost 100%, is that at some level you were permeable. By intention or willingness to resonate closely with someone, you are permeable to their energy. And humans resonate with others. That's what we do. So that, the other thing is being aware of when you don't feel that you're totally sovereign, and then doing clearing techniques. I happen to believe in an energy field, so there are clearing techniques in my book.
Oh, good.
I just happened to notice coming across the bottom of the screen a couple of questions. Should I answer those?
Yeah, she pops them up as we're talking, but we definitely can. One of those questions was, with all the commonalities from all over the world, how old is shamanism?
I think the best estimate is 35,000 years.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably Siberian. But again,
we've always had this medicine around. That's the thing. And it's like, as we evolve, which I don't even like to say we have evolved that much, but that goodness, right, of like living in nature and building these communities where we help each other and support each other and like trade with each other and heal with each other, like those things have gone away. I imagine like back then, 35,000 years ago or however long it was, that was not so much the case, and people were even much healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we find our little communities and our healing things. And
Oh, for sure. But it's just crazy how times are so different. The other question was, who is Carl Greer?
So Carl Greer is a doctor of a clinical psychologist as well as a PhD in business, who is probably one of the more powerful shamans I trained with. He wrote the foreword to my book. He's a Jungian analyst and a shamanic practitioner, and one of the most ethical and powerful energy mover that I've met.
And then what a great honor it is to have him write the foreword to your book.
Yes, it was a generous, beautiful foreword. Yes.
That's lovely. Did you have a question?
I was just thinking that Jungian psychology, it's really powerful. I love studied Carl Jung and just the realization of his depth of spirituality that he connected with, and yet so, that beginning tenets of modern day psychology, but it really based it in spirituality.
Yeah. I think I read somewhere, maybe you guys know, he had a transcendent experience at one point. And I don't know what it was, but.
And then deeply studied it, researched it, watched it, experimented with its spirituality. It was the big break from Freud. It was quite a break, but what I've learned
Natalie
about
studies people and the sociology and all of that stuff. I study end of life and near death experiences. But together we have a lot to talk about.
What?
AJ, have you had one?
I have had an NDE, yes.
And what
did you feel that?
I felt that.
Yeah, what I was wondering, because you are an intuitive.
You know what? Studying shamanic practices increased my intuition. So I believe that if you get the book and you do those practices, you're going to have awarenesses in different arenas, and you will increase your intuition. So just for my curiosity, what's one message you would bring from that you would share with me?
From my NDE? Well, the biggest, I would say there are two huge lessons that I learned through that experience, and it's probably a common experience that a lot of people come back with. One being, before I had my NDE, I didn't really have a belief in anything other than what it is right now. So I wasn't quite sure if there really was a creator.
The eternal.
What's that?
You did not see or feel the eternal.
No. No, I don't know if it was because of the life that I had up until that point. It was really heavy. I signed up for a lot of challenges up until this point. That was one of the biggest final challenges for me that I got to go through. And so not having an awareness of anything other than who we are just here and now. And then when we're done, we're just done. Like, that's what I believed. When I came out of that experience, it was quite opposite, obviously, because what I saw and what I had experienced was complete opposite from what I believed it was. The other biggest thing is the vibration of love. And I had never quite understood that. I didn't even really know like human love, like tangible love to like in understanding. I think most people would. It always was attached to something negative. And so my experience with love wasn't always the most positive thing. And when I came back, it wasn't even about that. It was not a feeling or an emotion. It was an energy, and that we were all made of it. And so those two things alone changed the course of my direction, saved my life entirely.
Mhm.
And I haven't even gone back to living or being the same person that I was before that day.
I was going to bet, or I was going to guess, unity was what you came back with.
There you go. See how much you know? It really, it's ineffable trying to explain the experience to people. I don't have words. I never do. People are, tell me about your experience. Well, it's not really something short. You can just like spill out over 5 minutes of the conversation with someone. And and as much as it was personal, there was so much that was sent back with me to share. Like the intention was to share it. So
Wonderful. I love that. That's juicy stuff. I love that.
I love it too. I really, really do. And I'm so grateful that I had that experience. I don't even have words when I think about my life before that day. And I'm so grateful that I had all the trauma that led up to it.
I'll just throw this out there. We should get back together for another show and talk about all the woo-woo stuff. Because I'm going to bet you downloaded a new energy, part of your energy field.
It's interesting that you said that. There's not a lot of people in our area that I would say I trust to work in my energy to find that out. I know what I know from what I feel and just knowing how different I am, but also the health issues that I came back with. I don't know if it happened in that moment or around that time, but that's interesting too, because of what I was shared during the NDE, and then the experiences I've had since then with my body have been.
So I'll throw this idea out there. I'll just throw this out. This is a woo-woo thing. So,
I love woo-woo. Throw it at me.
The higher vibration of what you came back with doesn't fit in your physical form that well. And that's why you have health challenges, is that you have this higher vibrational being trying to work within the density of the human form.
Sharon, that's very interesting that you said that, because I had someone else also tell me that the reason why I'm in so much constant pain is to keep me in my physical body, because I'm meant to be here in this experience. If I wasn't having pain, I would always be somewhere else.
You'd be off in the ethers.
Wow.
Well, that's why you don't cry, because that part of you's in the ethers still. Anyway, that's just
interesting.
That's just my thinking.
Well, I appreciate what you're feeling and what you're getting from my energy. I really am grateful for you sharing.
Good read.
I'm open to. Natalie's over there like, yep.
That's
she
good.
knows me better than anyone around.
So here's another question.
Okay.
Completely off topic, and maybe we'll have to have another get together.
We're almost out of time.
What is your connection to the magic world?
What do you mean? What is my connection?
Do you resonate with elves and fairies and magical creatures?
Absolutely.
Strong connection. We'll just go with that.
Thank you, Natalie, because I knew that. That's another thing. You have another woo-woo moment. You're a magical being in a human form, so you're kind of a hybrid, and that makes it hard to be present.
Humans are so dense.
I almost on the daily, I'm complaining to Natalie that I'm really tired of being a human. And I don't mean that in disrespect to my experience I'm having now. I'm really grateful that I get to have this opportunity. I know what it is, though. I know what I'm going through and why I'm going through it. The best that a human can, right?
Yeah.
And so that keeps me present, but also at the same time of knowing what home feels like, and also knowing the work that I want to be doing. It's not at the capacity here that it could be somewhere else. And that's kind of frustrating to me, because it's not that I'm wasting my time. I know my time here is important, but also I'm like, ooh, I have bigger things to do.
There's a yearning, isn't there, for
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I get the reminder that not all humans are dense. Some of us can shine bright.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So grateful. Well, thank you for sharing with me and with all of us, Sharon. You have just been such a joyous guest, and I'm so grateful that you spent time with us. And yes, we would absolutely love to have you back.
Let's do it. It would be fun.
It would be.
Let's go tripping off. Let's go wandering off a really untraveled path.
Ooh, sign me up all day, every day. Literally. All right, listeners, if you are wanting to know more about our guest, Dr. Sharon Martin, visit her website, drsharonmartin.com. That's SHARON. It's there where you learn all about her. You'll be able to connect to her shows and find ways to purchase her book. I really recommend that you do. We're going to.
We are definitely on it.
Woo, I just saw some lightning. And with that, thank you all for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. This was fun. Good night, ladies. Nice being with you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. And listeners, thank you for your participation and your dedication to the show and to the station. Until next week, be good to yourself and be good to each other. Good night.
Have a great one.